Hi! I completely abandoned this channel. My bad. A lot has happened since the first video I put up. Quick recap.
For that video, I was basically like, I was in the hospital. It was either a mini stroke or lupus was like affecting my brain. Turns out since then I found out it was in fact a mini stroke, but also lupus is also attacking my brain. I had the option of starting this new medication, but it was $3,000. Since then, thank goodness, I have been able to qualify for some kind of extra help, and this medication was under the list of medications that qualified for that, so now it is much more affordable, and I have been able to start this medication, Benlysta. I've taken 2 of the shots so far, so that's good. I did make the short film. I did post the short film on my main BookTube nerdy channel. I will post the link down below if you're interested in watching that. Sorry I didn't do a behind the scenes video for this channel. A lot has happened, and I just never got around to it. So if you're interested in watching the short film and the behind the scenes video, even though it's not catered to someone from the perspective of someone who has lupus making it, I'll still link it down below. But now, the reason I have basically abandoned this channel, but I'm back to it.
The first video I made, I had recently gotten out of the hospital. Guess what? I went back into the hospital. This time for my lungs, because if you remember in my first video, I talked about how I had been struggling to breathe well since like September or October of 2018. And it just kept getting progressively worse. Well, finally, I had gotten a referral to a pulmonologist, and I was like less than a week away from this pulmonologist appointment when suddenly I couldn't even walk to like the bathroom, from my room to the bathroom, which is like barely 12 feet, without gasping for breath, can't breathe, like gonna pass out. So I'm like, you know what? This isn't normal. Also, incredibly painful to breathe. And a lot of chest pain, especially when I breathed in or tried to breathe deep. I was like, you know what? I might as well go to the ER. So I went to the ER. I had gone to the ER like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks prior, and found out that I got a CT scan to check for blood clots because I do have a history of blood clots. And I found out I had cysts on my lungs. So that was fun. And one of the things they told me about, if I start having really bad shortness of breath or pain, which I was having, to go back, because one of the risks with cysts, if one of the cysts were to like burst or whatever, then you could get like a collapsed lung. So I was having the symptoms, so I was like, girl, you better just go to the ER. So I went to the ER. Come to find out, it was a word, it starts with an A, I can't remember, but the lower lobes of my lungs were collapsed or not inflating completely, but I don't think it was like the big pneumothorax collapse that they were worried about. It wasn't like that. But my lower lobes were collapsed and not inflating correctly. And so they admitted me. However, my local hospital doesn't have pulmonologist, so I had to get transferred to a different hospital. And when I got to the second hospital, the whole reason I got transferred, okay, was to see a pulmonologist.
But then when I got to that second hospital, this is a mini rant inside my video, sorry, that doctor was like, you know, I don't even think you need to see a pulmonologist. I think you just need to see a rheumatologist, which yes, I needed to also see a rheumatologist because I'm also a lupus patient, but like the whole reason I got transferred here was because my lower lungs were collapsed and I needed to see a pulmonologist.
But thankfully, the next day, a different hospital floor doctor came in. He's like, I'm gonna request that you see a pulmonologist and a rheumatologist, and I was just like, thank you, I appreciate that. Also, side note, the rheumatologist who ended up being on my floor was my very first adult rheumatologist, because when I was first diagnosed, I had a pediatric rheumatologist. But my first adult rheumatologist, after seeing him for like 6 months to a year, he had told me, you know, I don't think you have lupus at all. And I was like, okay. And then I left to get a second opinion. And the second opinion was like, no, you definitely have lupus. So I never went back to this rheumatologist. Although while I was in the hospital, he was treating me for lupus, and he was like, oh, I think you're going through a really bad lupus flare. And I'm just like, I was just thinking to myself, remember that time you told me I didn't have lupus? I was just thinking about it, but you know, I don't know. Side note, that was a really weird side note. Why am I going off on that tangent? Anyways, all this to say, I was in the hospital and they ended up testing me for something called LAM. L-A-M, something for a really long word that I'll probably put on the screen. Here's the thing, guys. It's a really rare lung disease. And I have just recently come to terms, like I'm finally okay with having the lupus and living the life with lupus according to this channel, you know what I'm saying? And to take on, and I've joined some LAM groups just to kind of mentally prepare myself to kind of see what I'm getting myself into if I were to get this diagnosis, and to like understand it better. And it's a lot, and it's just something new I'm gonna have to learn and adjust to, and new treatments, and I'm gonna have to stop taking some treatments that I've been taking for lupus for years just to start taking new treatments. And it's just like, I don't want it, you know what I mean? I mean, whoever wants a diagnosis of something, especially something super rare. So May 2nd, I'm going to the follow-up from my pulmonologist from the hospital. I don't know if they're going to have the results to those LAM tests, because there's only like one place in the entire country that tests for this thing. But yeah, but I will come update you guys, because I'm sorry for abandoning this channel. I'll be back. And I'm going to have more entertaining videos. It's not just going to be random health updates, I promise. But yeah, I just thought I would update you guys with why I've been gone, what's been going on, that kind of a thing. LAM, though. I'm gonna have to change my channel name. At least it starts with an L, so it's like Lupus and Lamb. It's the Lupus and Lamb show. My niece was born while I was in the hospital. That was fun. So yeah, it was a little bright moment while I was sick in the hospital. But yeah, I'm since being out of the hospital, I'm on 40 milligrams of steroids, good old prednisone, you know what I mean. So super bloated, super hungry all the time, but I can walk and breathe at the same time. So shout out to prednisone, because keeping your girl breathing. That's life, I guess. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, and I promise I'll come at you with a more entertaining video than just a health update. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!